Alright, so this is the deck, the whole deck. I will be going through every card separately in this short second, but now I want to talk about the whole strategy with this deck. So the idea basically is to remove almost every single unit from the opponent's side of the field with the help of poison, and that is very much possible. By the end of certain rounds, there can be only like 3 or 4 cards left on the opponent's side if you've played very well. And the ideal leader ability for this would be Strategic Withdrawal. Another thing that I would add is the Basilisk Venom Stratagem. Probably one of the strongest stratagems if you're playing for poison, because it has a lot of potential and it also forces your opponents to play a bit awkward during his first turn, because he obviously doesn't want to give you a good poison target. So let's just look at these cards in detail, starting off with the biggest card actually, Masquerade Ball, as this is probably the biggest card. It's not necessarily the best card in this deck, but it is a very powerful point card that really does set you up for a lot of destruction, because it spawns a Thirsty Dame on the get-go, and then it spawns 2 Fangs of the Empire if you play 2 more Aristocrats after playing the Scenario Artifact. Now, how bad is it if the opponent removes this artifact? It's not too bad, honestly. I think this card is very powerful simply because it spawns the Thirsty Dame, and the opponent would rather probably get rid of the Thirsty Dame before he gets rid of the Masquerade Ball, and then you can maybe like set up your other stuff or get to chapter 1 by the time he's removed the Thirsty Dame, because Thirsty Dame is a very, very powerful engine, but I will talk about her later. Now, the biggest problem with this card is the fact that it can only be triggered by Aristocrats, which made deck building a bit tougher, because I would have had other cards for certain provisions, but it's just not possible. I need more Aristocrats to be able to trigger this as efficiently as possible. The first one of these Aristocrats that I had to add due to the necessary constraints was the Van Morlehen Hunter. Now this card has 2 abilities on melee and ranged. One is give a bleeding for 2 turns, and the other one is to lock a unit. Now it's actually not that bad of a card for 4 provisions, so I'm not really that upset that I have to run this card, because I initially had the Hunting Pack, which is simply just the thinning card for NILFGAARD. I don't really need the Hunting Pack. It's kind of unnecessary now that I think about it. So yeah, this is definitely not that bad of a replacement for the Hunting Pack, because it does add a little control. Also, it gives a lot of statuses to a unit, and in the worst case, it's just a 5-point card that gives bleeding for 2 turns. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is where we start to see a lot of poison, because there is a lot of poison available to you in NILFGAARD. One of them is King Cobra, which is the neutral poison card, which simply just gives an enemy poison, and you're gonna see a lot of cards that can do that as well. For example, Fangs of the Empire, which does the exact same thing, but this one is a 4-power card. So a bit more power strength-wise, but the effect stays the same, and it allows you to maybe kill a card in 2 turns, which is pretty damn powerful. And now we have Thirsty Dame. Now this card is really, really strong. There's a certain card that's going to come up next, which really synergizes well with this one, but in general, I think this card is incredibly powerful. You're usually going to trigger this around every turn, killing a unit. You also get a boost, even when the opponent plays something like Shield or gives Vitality or something like that. This card boosts itself. It's kind of a cheating card. This card is really powerful. There's really no downside in this card. If it dies, it dies. The opponent has wasted some removal, which, I mean, yeah, it's probably the only removal he needs against this deck. But I mean, if you lose the coin flip, you can play her and play your Basilisk Venom on turn 2 or something, and then she's going to be a 5, which is going to be obviously harder for the opponent to kill these days. Plus, she's an Aristocrat, so if she's able to trigger Masquerade Ball, you're going to have 2 of these Thirsty Dames, which is a very scary scenario for every opponent out there. Next up is Raw Tosser. Now this card is ridiculously powerful in this deck because it triggers Thirsty Dame twice if the cow carcass can actually go off. It always triggers it once simply because the cow carcass is a spy, and spying units do count as a status. So if you play this, Thirsty Dame will boost herself by 1, and if both poisons from the cow carcass are triggered, Thirsty Dame will also boost herself by 2. So this is not only a very awkward card for the opponent to play around, this is also a very good power play if Thirsty Dame is on the board. And even then, if you don't have Thirsty Dame, it's great to set up poison. You make your opponent, play sort of around the bush or play awkward plays just so that he has to play around this. And it's not really that hard to get good targets with this nowadays because a lot of the cards have just very nice power levels for you to poison, a lot of them at least. This card is obviously not that great against consume monsters, but against consume monsters, you're already favored heavily because of poison and because you can just kill their tall units. Next we have Artfane Tortoise. Now this card is a very powerful Nilfgaard card. It has 2 armor and boosts the highest unit from the opponent by 3 when the armor is off, which is obviously good for you because then the opponent wastes 2 damage and just gives you a better poison. So you're gonna see this card in pretty much every Nilfgaard deck. This is a very powerful card and definitely one that you should craft if you want to build around Nilfgaard. Next up we have Nilfgaardian Knight, same as Tortoise almost, but if you play this card on turn 1, this card will obviously not boost a unit by 2, it'll just be a 7 proactive play, which is obviously very powerful. And even then, if you boost a unit by 2, you're obviously going to show your opponent which cards you're going to target with poison, but that's still not really a problem. This card still generates quite a nice little amount of power. It also gives your removal a bit of explosiveness. Plus, this card does scare off a lot of opponents when you just buff their 10-point card to a 12. That just changes the whole entire board state for a lot of people, and it might force some people to actually just pass. False Ciri. Now, False Ciri nowadays is back on the menu for a lot of Nilfgaard decks simply because she's just good artifact removal. It can destroy these scenario cards, which you're going to see in quite a few decks. Very good against Scoia'tael, I believe, because Scoia'tael does run the scenario card quite frequently nowadays with the elf archetype getting the buff. Also, moving a unit can be very powerful these days, so I would say that she's one of the better artifact removals, and you can replace her obviously if you're not facing a lot of these artifacts. In that case, you can probably replace her with something better. I'm not sure exactly what, but there's definitely a lot of cards that you can replace a 7 provision card with in Nilfgaard. Next up, we have the beautiful Van Morlehem's Cupbearer. He has Assimilate, which doesn't really matter unless you're playing Cow Carcass after him, but you're usually going to play Cow Carcass before him, and all he does is basically he either poisons a unit or he can purify a unit. Very powerful card. He's basically like Whispering Hillock from Scoia'tael. Very good poison, very good power on the poison if you're going to use him, because a 6 that destroys a card with poison is a very high tempo play when you think about it, and definitely a very good card in this deck, and obviously a must-have in this deck as he does give poison. Swears. Sees an enemy unit by 3 or less power. I think everyone knows this card. Everyone knows how good this card is. This card is especially good against SK, the current SKs that a lot of people are running. You can actually use your leader ability, the strategic withdrawal. You can simply yoink the Crow Mother and the Crow Messenger on your side and basically deny him a whole bunch of carryover, which he would have had. And other than that, I mean, this card is pretty goddamn good. The whole deck is very, very control heavy, and this is definitely one of the control heavy cards. I mean, this one's more conditional than others, but definitely this is a very powerful card in a lot of scenarios. Next up, we have Philip van Morlehem, also known as Bebo Boop. A lot of people say this guy looks like him. I do agree, this guy looks very much like Bebo Boop, and his ability is basically to damage a unit by 1, cooldown 1. If the target has status, damage it by 2 instead. This card has been added recently to Nilfgaard as their 5-point deal 1 per turn, deal 2 if certain condition is met cards that every faction pretty much has now. And yeah, I mean, the only reason I'm really playing him is simply because he is an aristocrat and he does trigger the Masquerade Ball. Otherwise, I wouldn't actually play this guy. And I think the aristocrat tag is very, very valuable in this deck, definitely with Masquerade Ball. Maur. Deploy poison an enemy unit and order poison an enemy unit. Now, this is one of the strongest cards in this deck by far. He has 2 poisons available to him. Now think of that. He can literally single-handedly kill a card if he is kept alive, or he can set up other poison stuff with things like Raw Tosser and Fangs of the Empire, which is incredibly powerful. This card is ridiculously strong. This card is definitely the most powerful poison card in the game. If the opponent kills it, it's a 5-point card that gives poison, which is still not that bad, honestly. I don't mind that. And if it can give 2 poison, that's just a whole different league in its own. It's ridiculously powerful, and yes, that's all I have to say about morale. Vilgefortz. On melee, he destroys an enemy unit, and then a random card from the deck comes out of the enemy's deck, and then on ranged, you can destroy one of your own units, and then one of your cards comes out of your deck, but you're usually going to use this for the melee ability. This is pretty much an overkill on the control cards, but I still do think that control is very powerful right now, because a lot of people will be running a bit of engines, a lot of people will be running certain cards here and there that might need to be taken care of. It's very good against something like a defender, especially for the poison that you have, so that you don't waste your poison on something like a defender, even though poison on defender isn't really that bad. But Vilgefortz can definitely get you some really, really strong plays, because he's an immediate destroy, unlike poison, which takes 2 turns. So if the opponent purifies something, you can always just use Vilgefortz to kill certain cards. Mata Huri. Deploy ranged. If neither player has passed and your opponent's hand is not full, they draw the lowest cost card and you draw the highest cost card. Now you will see this card in pretty much every deck right now. This card will not be the same in maybe a week even, so this card will probably get hotfixed, but for the moment, if you can run this card, definitely run this card, as this card has absolutely no downside. It's a 6 body which draws the best card in your deck for 9 provisions. Absolutely incredible. There's literally no downsides to playing this card. It really is good, and her premium is also pretty damn good if you ask me, so there's really no downsides with this card. She's gonna be in a lot of decks that you see, but the thing with her is if she gets nerfed or if she gets completely destroyed or something, you can simply replace her with another NILFGAARD 9 provision card, or you can sort of swap certain cards around. You can maybe replace the Philip and her with something more balanced with aristocrats and so on and so forth. And yeah, I think this card is absolutely nuts the way it is right now. I don't see why a deck wouldn't play this card unless it plays like around certain categories or something, but I just think this card's absolutely bonkers. It should be in pretty much every deck right now, as it single-handedly can draw you your win condition. So yeah, definitely one of the strongest cards in the game right now. Yennefer's Invocation. Place an enemy unit or an enemy artifact on top of your deck. This card is very powerful against scenario cards. This card's powerful against big cards. This card's very powerful against defenders. Need I say any more? Not really. Let's move on to the next card. Ramon Tarkanel. Spawn and play a base copy of a bronze soldier from your hand and give it 2 armor. Very powerful card, very good power play, definitely something that you need in this deck that is mostly control. Now that is something that is very important with deck building, is that if you have a bunch of control cards, you do need proactive plays, and this is definitely a very powerful proactive play with something like Artfane Tortoise and maybe even Nilfgaardian Knight in the worst case scenario. It's not even that bad with Nilfgaardian Knight, simply because Nilfgaardian Knight also can set up things like Vilgefortz, Poison, or Yennefer's Invocation. And here we have the big card, Vincent van Lehem. Deploy destroy an enemy unit with status. This card is absolutely bonkers. This card can kill something with Vitality, Bleeding, Shield, Poison, Lock, you name it. This can kill virtually everything, and you can set it up really easily. The thing is, your opponent will never have enough Purify in this deck. There's just too much poison, there's just too much locks, too much statuses going around all over the place within this deck for this card not to get any value. Even if you just kill a 4-point card, it's a 10 for 11. And that's like the worst case scenario. Even a 6-point card to kill is already more than its provision. This card is absolutely ridiculously good and definitely a must-have in this deck. And yes, that is the deck that I've just shown you. So let's just get right into some games with Poison Nilfgaard. Alright, we're playing against Enslave. Okay. I mean, Enslaved's okay. I guess Enslaved's alright. We don't have any engines anyway, so it really doesn't matter to us what we really play against. The only problem might be the Masquerade Ball, because he might also run a Siri, so let's just see. The Thirsty Dame will probably die, so we can actually mulligan her, but do we want to? Not really. I mean, it's not necessary that we mulligan her, realistically. Actually, no, I might actually mulligan her, that's fine. Okay, Venendal Elite. That already gives me a very nice little poison target. So I'm gonna Ramon Tyconel. Actually, I can wait with Ramon. I can keep Ramon because we did win the coin flip. So we can just like go NILFGAARD Unite on this dude and see where that gets us. We have 2 Fangs in hand, so this is immediately already gonna be a poison target. He's got 2 Venendal Elites, so maybe playing the Tyconel was actually a pretty good play there. Now the question is, what do I want to play? I guess I could play... do I think this guy plays an artifact? I actually don't think he's going to play Masquerade Ball. I don't see this guy playing Masquerade Ball, so I'm just going to move these 2 next to each other so it gives me a nice little Rot Tosser. Right, there's Visigoda. He's going to play for these guys. I don't really care about that too much. I'm just going to play my Rot Tosser here. See where that gets me. I could have also locked this Arturius Vigo with my Van Morlen Hunter, but that's okay. Now he's in kind of a sticky situation. For sure, it's definitely not a nice situation for him to be in, because these Fangs of Empire do pose a huge threat to him. Okay, so he's gonna minnow. That makes sense. That's pretty okay. I don't mind that too much. I maybe should have Swears the Arturius Vigo. I just realized, yeah, this was definitely my Arturius. This was definitely my Swears target. For sure, yeah. Okay, so he's actually played around this pretty well. That's pretty good for him. So how much points is the double Fangs right now? It's 18. So it's actually not enough. He's played quite a bit of tempo here. So he's played around this really well. So I'm actually just gonna pass here. That's fine. I can deal with the long round. Long round's not that bad for me. So what's our highest provision card here? I guess Vilgefortz or Morale. How many aristocrats? I have 2 aristocrats. That's actually perfectly fine then. Okay. So I can play for Masquerade Ball this round, depending on what he does here. I do not have a Ramon Tyconel though, that's a bit of a problem. Okay. So I think do I just play my Mata right now? Yeah, I think I can, do I want to play this before Masquerade Ball? I think I just play Mata here. Should be okay. Gives me a Vilgefortz. Literally no downside to playing this card, it's actually kind of ridiculous. Okay. So there's the Hefty Helga. Now I could Yennefer this, but I think I'm just going to Raw Tosser. Actually, I think I'm just gonna Aristocrat lock this, or I would have to play Masquerade Ball here. I think this is fine if I just lock this. If he purifies it, that's okay. Okay, Swears. We're just gonna Swears him back. He's gonna pass here. He might pass here. I wouldn't mind if he passes here. Okay, so we got his Diviner out, actually. That's pretty decent. I think I'm just gonna play the Rot Tosser here. As long as I have leader ability, I should be okay. Or Vilgefortz. I can even use Vilgefortz to win this game. So we're now threatening 2 of his engines. The Hefty Helga or the Nausicaa Sergeant. Just depends on which one he wants to get rid of first. Because he doesn't have Menno anymore. Menno's like the biggest threat against this. Because he can create something to really disturb this whole thing. Okay. So there's the Defender. Meaning we have these 2 poisoned now. We can use Vincent van Morlem now to actually just kill this. And he actually... Wow, he actually can kill this with Hefty Helga. That's interesting. So do I want to Invocation this, or do I want to Vilgefortz this? I can also Vincent this, honestly. But that takes away a Aristocrat from my thing. I think I just poisoned this. Yeah, this is okay. If he purifies, I don't mind. Oh, Stefan. Maybe I should have killed this. Yeah, I definitely should have killed this. Is he actually gonna kill a 6 here? That's pretty good. Actually, no, it's gonna die. Oh, and he also has Ramon. He doesn't have anything. Okay, that's fine. So, the problem obviously was this Hefty Helga has been getting some crazy value for him. I think I have the Vilgefortz here. An interesting choice. Nice, we got Shelmar out of him. That's actually good. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna Masquerade's Ball, and I'm gonna reapply the Hunter, then give 2 bleeding. I'm not gonna... This plays another poison, and this should be okay now. Because this is out of yoink range, and we can use this and get another poison. Okay, so now he's passed, which is perfectly fine with me, honestly. I can get Tourney Shelmar. I'm on 29. I literally need 4 points. Do I take the Shelmar off him with Yennefer? Because it can literally kill his Damien pretty well. Because I do want to keep the Vincent. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Yennefer for Tourney Shelmar. That's perfectly fine with me. So we used Leader, but we have card. We're on equal cards now. And we have Tourney Shelmar in our hand. It's very powerful. Okay, so we don't want this because it just dies. That's actually kind of good. As it is a soldier, I think we can keep this hand, honestly. This is perfectly fine. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's not the greatest, but whatever, I'll take it. Okay. That's a pretty bad find. Because it gives me another chance to play Nilfgaardian Knight. That's crazy good. Oh, he's playing uninteractive here. That's kind of annoying. He's going to yoink this. So I'm going to play Tourney Shelmar here. I kind of need him to play a unit here. Experimental Remedy. Okay. Alright, that's a good poison target. Nice. So that's his target for the Enslave. He's actually going to yoink the 6. Okay. Alright, sweet. So we can actually kill the Damien here, which is pretty dope. Alright, let's go. Okay, so he needs he needs 10 points here to actually win. And I don't think he can do 10 points. Yeah, that's not 10 points. Alright, sweet. So we win against Enslave. Old Nilfgaard versus new Nilfgaard. New Nilfgaard comes out victorious. Okay, we're playing against Elves. I haven't actually played against Elves with this deck yet. And that might actually be the toughest of matchups. Okay, we got quite a bit of poison here. That's good. I like this. I actually really like this hand. Like, really like this hand. So I think I'm actually going to just keep it. I have Ciri for his artifact, which is pretty damn good. So Swordmaster comes out, as you do. I'm actually just going to play Tarkanel, like, proactively this round. Just get a bit of points on the board. Force some stuff out of this guy, even though he's going to have a lot of tempo with his Saber. Okay. Here we have our poisons already. We have 2 good poison targets here. So we're just going to use them immediately. Put them on spot. He might have the Doblathana Archer, which could be a bit of a problem for me. Yeah, he does have the Doblathana Archer, which does kill this pretty nicely. So now he's going to get Ellerin out as well for that huge tempo. I'm talking huge tempo. And honestly, I can just play out this. I can play out my Mata here. It's fine. Doesn't really matter to me. Doesn't really matter to me. Okay, half elf hunter. He's just playing a lot of points here. Can I keep up though? What is this? 7 deal 6. I mean, technically 8 by the time. 7 deal 7, 14. Alright. I can play for poison here. The thing is, we need to force out his Purifies in this round. Purifies can be a bit troublesome. Alright, there's a 1 Purify. Okay. Now that's pretty good. So he's got rid of 1 Archer and 1 Sapper in this round. Problem is, he's just played bronzes this round. We've played 2 gold actually. I think I'm gonna pass here. Honestly, I think I might. Or do I play the Artfade Tortoise to stay in the game for a bit? Sure, yeah. Oh, this could actually be awkward now. I just realized. He's gonna pass here, isn't he? Oh no, I should have just passed. Oh, he's actually not passed. Oh, sweet, thank God. That would have been a detrimental pass there. Okay, so now we have to pass. Alright, good stuff. So this Swordmaster is pretty scary. They really buffed that Scoia'tael thing. This Philip is kind of useless simply because of the fact that he has movement with his elves. I think I get rid of this knight though. That's actually kind of good. Is there anything better I can draw? I mean, there's plenty of stuff that's better, but for the moment I think yeah, this is okay. Alright, this is better. There's more points. Okay, he's playing his Mata. Okay, I'm drawing my Van Morlem Hunter. I could Yennefer this, honestly. It baits him into playing his artifact, which I just destroy with with false Siri. Could this be a good this is actually a good invocation target, honestly. It gives me a nice mata for the next round.
Swords I smile at.
I don't want to Siri this. I can Siri this, but I don't really want to Siri this. I can Vilgefortz it, honestly. But he might find a good elf. I can Van Morlem this, just simply. Gives me one aristocrat, though, only. I don't want to Siri this, because I know he plays the artifact. This is kind of interesting. I think I just play for King Cobra here. Yeah, I think I just play for King Cobra here. Oh, okay, he's played his second Double-Thon Archer as well now. So that gives me a nice little Raw Tosser. That's pretty good. And I might also just play Masquerade Ball next. Yeah, I think Masquerade Ball's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna Masquerade Ball here. I'm gonna return this. And I'm gonna play Philip Van Morlem. And I'm gonna kill the Swordmaster. Okay. Should be okay. Should give us some nice little points here.
I will litter the forest with your bones.
I mean, this doesn't really matter. It's good that he played it on this, the Philip. Philip's good, like, removal bait. So I think I go for bleeding here, right? And just kill one of the 4s. Yeah, sure. Should give me some good leverage here. I maybe should have killed the Double-Thon Archer to remove some elves. That's a mistake on my part.
Some things cannot be forgiven.
He's played for leader now. That's pretty good. Okay. He can't pass, obviously. Okay, it's passed. And we can actually go a card up here. That's pretty good. And we still have pretty good cards here. We still have Siri for the artifact removal, which is arguably the most important thing out of all of the things. Vilgefortz might not be the greatest in this matchup, but he's still okay, I assume. Do I need this Morlem Hunter? Honestly, I don't think I do. This is good. Swears is very good. Take some elves away from him. I think this is a very decent hand, honestly. Okay. So this boosts itself by 1, which I don't really mind too much.
You will never forget.
Okay. I mean, this is pretty weak, right? So I think I go and poison the Vernasil Commando. Actually, no, I poison it with the Van Morlem dude. Okay, so he's purified it. That's okay. I don't mind that too much.
In my trade, I am a great artist.
He's gotta have a 3 at some point. There you go. Okay. Good.
Up to it, knaves.
I can also kill this Deadeye with the Morlem. Do I want to, though? Not really. I can kill it right now with Maur. I think I'll just do that, yeah. Finally he plays this. Oh my god, it's been so long. I've actually had to wait so long for this. So there's Isengrim, which we just Vilgefortz. And then we Morlem one of these Deadeyes. Nice. We got Yavin out of him as well. So this is a 10. So he needs literally a 21 point card here. Not even Oak does this. Yeah, I didn't think so. Kaboom. Easy as that. So we beat elves. That's impressive, actually. We just have to know when to use Leer ability. Alright, we're playing against Northern Realms. Might be shields. Shields could be pretty good for us, because they, as long as we have last say against shields, we should be okay. So maybe a mulligan one of these Tortoise. 2 raw tosses is interesting. The thing is, they play boiling oil now, usually. Okay, this is a pretty good Swears, I'd say, for round 1. Oh, we could just Siri this. Siri's a bit risky, though. Swears is, I mean, super committal, but that's fine. Gives us the 2 charges that we need. Plus it gives us a nice little tempo. Okay, so he is shields. So do I deny him the points off of the... I think I do have to deny him the points. And I think I can also use my Nilfgaardian Knight here to boost this up to an 8. No, we're gonna just raw tosser here. This is a pretty decent raw tosser. Not gonna use my Redanian Archer charges just yet. See what he does against this. If we can kill the infantry, that's fine. He's actually just passed. He's completely given up on this round. Okay. That is perfectly fine with me. So we win on even. We have last say. We have poison. There's a lot of good things happening here. So we got Raw Tosser, 2 of these. Mulligan this maybe. That's good. Okay, so we can play for Masquerade Ball now. Don't want to mulligan this, honestly. I could mulligan this, but this is actually kind of powerful. I could actually mulligan Philip in this case. It's not that great. But I think I'll just keep it as it is. So I think I'll just play for Masquerade Ball here. You can just kill this. That's okay. Oh, he's Oriel. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind that too much. Because it gives me a nice little poison target. So this we lock. As you do. The classic Oriel tag. That's actually a pretty good Raw Tosser. That's a really good Raw Tosser. I'm just going to use this as Raw Tosser. This makes it so awkward for him. And now you can see these two just popping off with Raw Tosser. It's going to be crazy good.
Left, right, left, right.
Look at this. They got 2 boosts out of this just now. That's crazy good. This is kind of scary. Do I mind? Not really, though. I mean, if I can bleed him out of this, it's fine with me. Oh my god, this always dies. It's actually kind of funny.
This dance you will never forget.
Alright, this is gonna be a bit scary. I think we just keep playing this out, honestly. If we can force him to play cards, that's perfectly fine with me. Because we have last say anyway. Doesn't really matter. I don't think he's gonna be playing any artifacts. I should have maybe moved the infantry there. He's gonna hero pass. I wouldn't recommend hero passing here. Okay, Atre as well. Oh, Atre would have been good with this. But I think that we're passing. Simple as that. So good that we got Oriel out of him. That's pretty good. We got Invocation still. We got a soldier still. I think we can just use our leader for Tarkanel in this situation. I think we have enough set up for everything realistically. Renew. Okay. That's actually not that good for him because like it just gives me a bigger invocation for his Ragnar. I could just King Cobra this though. Would it be smart? He does play a bunch of boost, doesn't he? I think for the moment I can just ram on Tarkanel here. Do I Tarkanel twice? I think I do Tarkanel twice right now. In case he does have Philippa. So that we can just like get a nice little value out of this. He might still have the elephant. So if we kill the elephant, if we like manage to get rid of the elephant, that's perfectly fine then. Oh, we can actually lock this now. That's actually good. But nah, is it worth it? Yeah, I guess it's worth it. Is he gonna purify this? He might purify this, honestly. I don't care honestly if he purifies this. Okay, he's got this guy. That's a pretty good poison target. But I think I want to go for the elephant or these guys. I mean, it's fine. It's pretty slow setup. I am waiting for this elephant. There's the elephant. Let's go. Nice. Okay. Good stuff. Good poison right there. If we can kill it at least. And if not, then we can just kill this with the Vincent. But I think that should be pretty good for us. Yeah, this should be a pretty good Vincent right here. Easy as that. 22-point Vincent. And now we just win because his Ragnar just simply isn't going to be big enough. I mean, it's not about being big enough. It's just about it doesn't exist. It never actually existed. So, pretty good game for us there yet again. I mean, NILFGAARD counters this shield deck pretty hard, but still, it's not really a challenge. You just have to think a little bit, and you can win with this deck pretty easily. Okay. Death's Shadow. Ooh, this is an interesting matchup because we get some big poisons, but Raw Tossers get completely cucked, obviously, because they just eat the Raw Tosser, Cow Carcass. Now, this is weird. We have to play Swears early, I think, for the Endrega Larva. What do I not like? I guess I don't like Nilfgaardian Knight too much. I can lock something. Locking isn't that bad. I don't know. I don't know about this hand. I might have to play for Philip this turn, or this round. See, I can actually just Swears this immediately. This is a pretty decent Swears, honestly. I don't mind that too much. Okay, Foglet. Alright, Foglet's not as bad as Harpy Egg, obviously. So, I think I'm going to play Philip here. Get a little engine down. Okay. So which one do I want to lock? I think I want to lock the Night Wraith. And damage it by 2. Oh, damn. He's got a lot of Death Wish units. I don't really mind. So he's gonna play for this, yeah. Because that gives us our first poison. This actually keeps me ahead. Because I can do this. Oh, I can actually hit this for 2, I just realized, because it's doomed. That's pretty good. I could also hit this for 2, because it's spying. This Philip's gonna be crazy good. He might have to pass here uneven, which is like the worst thing for him to do as consume. Because I can literally force out his leader. Oh, that's good as well. So I hit this. I mean, I'm just going to keep playing this out, honestly. What is my highest point unit? A 7. So actually it's not that bad. If I kill the Goliath here. Oh, I can steal this Wyvern with my Yennefer as well. I don't mind if I do. Alright, he's 10 points down. The problem is I can't actually let him win the round. He has so much tempo in the later rounds that it's actually kind of crazy. It is actually kind of crazy how much tempo this guy has in later rounds. So I actually have to kill this with Vincent. I actually have to use Vincent this round. I don't mind that, actually. That's alright. Oh. He's gonna eat the Goliath as well. If he does, he's actually kind of smart. But, oh, the Wyvern comes out. Oh, but the Wyvern comes out. Oh, that's so bad. And now I actually have to pass? Or do I use my leader here? Do I use leader here? The Wyvern dying is a bad thing. I think I'm gonna pass here, actually. Maybe I should have leadered. Maybe I should have. But he's just gonna bleed the hell out of me now. He's gonna really bleed me hard. Because he's got either Detlef or Ruahin to just go crazy on this. It's gonna be absolutely nuts. Okay, we got 2 of these. So I actually don't need King Cobra. That's actually okay. Actually, that's very good. Because he does play the artifact, for sure. Oh, he's actually passed. So I think I just play Thirsty Dame here. Hope for maybe another dude. Because all these others I can't actually play out here because they're too valuable. So he's actually going for the long round. That's actually not correct by him, I think. Because I have so much tall punish. It is actually kind of ridiculous how much tall punish I have. Nice, we got this. We got this. Oh, we're gonna draw this. We do need a soldier then. Do I actually mulligan Mata here? Is this a scenario where I mulligan Mata? Because she's giving me Ramon, and Ramon's useless. And it's giving me Ramon anyway. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I think I just play Masquerade Ball here. I don't think he has any punish for this. I shouldn't have. Wait, he's gonna use this on this? Not sure that's correct, but okay. I'm gonna lock this, and then poison this. Okay, that should be okay. Okay, there's the artifact. He can't actually proc it twice, so this is a good false theory. Whee! Bye-bye! Oh yes, please eat this. I don't mind it. Barbagazzi. He's gonna eat this, actually. He's actually gonna eat this. That's crazy.
My reason to travel, I mean.
This is so much tall punish. Is he gonna eat both of these? That would be kind of suicidal. Please eat the other. I beg you, eat the other. Okay. Alright, we're gonna kill this. Play the Fangs on this, and then kill it with Morale. That is just so much points. It's actually kind of unfair against monsters. That is actually crazy amounts of points. So he's playing for Glusty last card. Alright, so what's the worst card this can be? So we play this as a 6. How much is Glusty? 1, 2, 3. 6 plus 6, 12. Yeah, he can't actually win this even if he has Glusty. So I think I just do this, go for... he actually found the Thirsty Dame there. But I don't think there's a card in the game that actually wins this here for him. I think he has Glusty as his last card. Yeah, Glusty it is. Pretty tiny Glusty. Pretty tiny Glusty. And yes, this is the Poison NILFGAARD deck. I will obviously leave a link into the description for you to check it out and maybe rework some stuff or just straight up copy it if you want to. I do think there are some things that you can maybe adjust. Maybe a little less Vilgefortz, less Swears for some other cards, because these cards are quite conditional, especially Vilgefortz is sometimes a bit overkill. But apart from that, I think most of the other cards, like the tempo cards, I think are necessary. You do need some proactive plays before you can set up your poison. This is a very heavy control list that should definitely be able to get you to pro rank in this season, because right now a lot of people are experimenting, and I would say this is a very straight up standard list already because it has a very nice identity, it has some very good points, and it has some very good control as well. So definitely do check this deck out if you are interested in NILFGAARD or genuinely the idea of poison. And if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe for more Gwent content, and I'll see you soon.